All right, I hereby call this meeting to order. Good morning. I'm the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for today's hearing. I want to begin by explaining how this process is going to work. Generally, we hear the building cases first, but I don't think we have any today, so that probably won't be an issue. If you've appeared at today's hearing, your case will be called before those where there were cases where no one has appeared. But that is only true if you've signed in, so if you haven't signed in, please make sure you sign in with an officer in the rear of the chamber. Once your case is called, I ask that you come down to the podium on my right-hand side, which is right over here. The city will put on its testimony and evidence first. You'll have an opportunity to review the evidence and ask questions of any of the city's witnesses. You will also have the opportunity to testify and present me with your own evidence. Once I have all the testimony and evidence, I will make a ruling. We'll enter a written order today at the hearing or in the next few days, which you'll receive a copy of. If you have any questions as we go through the process, please feel free to ask them. This is not a formal courtroom. The formal rules of evidence do not apply here. However, although this is not a formal courtroom, all testimony given today is under oath under penalty of perjury. So if you're going to testify, or you think you might testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify, I'd ask that you rise and raise your right hand so I can swear you in. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Florida? Please be seated. So you can call the first one.
First case number 4, 840 Briggs Street, CE 26055-414. Number 4, 840 Briggs Street.
Number 4.
Good morning. My name is Carlos Cabino, and I'm a code enforcement officer with the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, I observed multiple violations at the property located at 840 Briggs Street, West Palm Beach. I initiated my investigation on May 26, 2026. As of June 30th, 2026, the only remaining violations are Code 94-302-A-3, fence permitting, and Code 94-71-C, outdoor storage. This property is occupied. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. I hand-delivered the NOV at the property on May 26 to Yadianes Fuentes Acebo, who identified herself as a family member of the owner, Athena Gora Saldivar. Ms. Fuentes signed for the NOV, which was included into the file. The NOV was sent certified mail on June 15th, but returned undeliverable on June 18th. I took photographs at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is present. I have been in contact with the owner throughout the investigation. While discussing the case with the owner, all violations were explained, including how to comply with each one and the special magistrate process. I also discussed with the property owner time to comply and possible daily fine. The city is requesting 90 days to comply or $50 a day after, if compliance is not met. I believe 90 days is enough time to comply with the remaining violations. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony, into evidence.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
My name is Atenadora Saldiva. I'm the owner for 840 Briggs Street. The reason I'm here because...
Hold on one second. Do you have any objections to the photographs the city would like to put in evidence?
Few.
All right, what is the nature of your objection to the photographs?
Because a couple of pictures being taken behind my fence. I know the fence is being put by 1998 for the previous owners. It's a wood fence. When I do my driveway, the wood fence is total Detroit, so I replace it for the metal fence.
Okay.
And that time, I don't know.
Sir, I promise I'll let you tell me your defense. I just need to know if you object to the photographs.
Yeah.
Okay.
I object for the, like I said, few.
Okay, what is wrong with the photographs?
Because they take the picture behind the fence. According with I know, everything behind the fence that you don't be able to see from the street is okay. Because what I have there, a lot of construction material
So you're objecting that the officer was on your property and aware?
on my property because from the sidewalk to the fence is 52 feet. So it go more than what is supposed to go in my property.
Hold on a sec. Where did you take the photographs from?
The initial photographs were taken from the street, and then as we entered the property to post is where we saw all of that construction material.
I'm going to admit the photographs, the city's composite exhibit. Officer
Gabino.
Gabino, can you describe what you observed that constituted the violations? 'Cause you just said there were violations.
Sure. The initial violation that directed our attention to the property was there was a boat that was parked on his property that was not screened on 3 sides. There was overgrowth to his lawn.
I just want to focus on the 2 that you're still pursuing.
So those were the white metal fence that is halfway through his property, and then the construction materials, which included windows, cinder blocks. Those were behind the fence, but not behind his property.
Okay, and so the outdoor storage is the construction materials?
Yes,
And the fence, I guess you looked in the city records, there's no permit for this fence?
that is correct.
Okay. All right, sir, the floor is yours.
Okay, I have a permit for the front fence, the aluminum fence, and I coming to the city hall, I pay for the added, the new fence, the what he talking about. So I paid $226 for added in my previous
For a
permit.
permit.
Yeah, but because the zoning is too delayed in too many cases, my permit is not approved yet. So 90 days, like he's required, is not be good enough. Plus, if you have the permit, what I know, I have a 6 months to comply by the fence. But my problem is this one, sir.
Let's focus in on that point for a second. He says he's filed for the permit. Are you aware of that?
He has filed for the amended permit to include the white fence that we are speaking of. It is currently under review.
And when do we anticipate that being completed?
That's up to permitting and planning and zoning.
We have someone here that can give us a sense of what that is? Because it's going to come down to the time frame again, so I have to have some idea what that's going to take.
It will be. Hi, Ryan Thomas, Co-Compliance Manager. It's in an application. It's with James Roman. He was on vacation this week. I anticipate he comes back. The planning director told us their review process is approximately 2 weeks. Then if there's any comments, they give a chance for the homeowner to answer those
Yeah.
comments. So that's why we're asking for 90 days in case there's comments.
And according to my files, he applied for the amended permit on June 6th.
Okay, so
We feel 90 days is enough time.
it's been about a month since he applied for the permit, yeah? And the city hasn't reviewed it yet in that month?
No.
How much time do you think you need, sir?
Well, the permit is allowed to finish everything.
I'm sorry?
While the permit allow me to finish everything, the permit is 6 months, so I'll be able to comply in 6 months because I have one permit for both fence. So I'm gonna do partial in my permit, so that's the white fence I have. So I'm gonna say 120 days.
What's the city's position on the request for 120 days?
I have no objection.
All right, I'll give you the 120. All right, KCE 260-55414, make the following findings of fact on the live fine notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of the 2 code sections, 9471C, the outdoor storage, and 94302A3. Fence permits, I give you 120 days to come into compliance or fine of $50 per day may issue. Good luck.
Number 16246 Plymouth Road, CE 260451997. Number 16246 Plymouth Road.
Okay.
Anytime you're ready.
Good morning. My name is Olivia Thomas, and I'm a code enforcement officer with the City of West Palm Beach. On April 15th, 2026, I received a complaint from one of the city's resident arborists regarding alleged tree abuse at the property located at 246 Plymouth Road. That same day, I conducted an inspection to verify the complaint and document the condition of the tree. During my inspection, I observed that the landscaping, oh, you can just click like the top one. Like the top one has everything and you can just scroll through it. Okay. On the tree appeared to be in violation of Code Section 94-446-2B3 for hat racking and Section 94-446-2C for tree abuse. I took photographs during the inspection which truthfully and accurately depict alleged violations. I posted the notice of violation at the residence on April 22nd, 2026, and completed an affidavit of posting that same day. An attempt to deliver the notice via certified mail was made on May 23rd, but delivery failed due to no authorized recipient being available. The notice included my contact information and the details regarding today's hearing. I submitted all relevant information to the city's arborist, Megan Bachat. She advised, as part of the compliance process, the property owner should provide updated photographs of the tree. The most recent photographs were received on June 30th, 2026. The hearing was scheduled today due to multiple scheduling conflicts reported by Ms. Primus and Mr. Gruber over the past few months. I accommodated their request to ensure that they would be able to attend. The property owner maintains that the alterations were made to the tree to prevent interference with power lines. The city recommends a one-time fine for the violations of sections 94-446-2B3 for hat racking and 94-446-2C for tree abuse. That photo that's up now, that's from June 30th. That's the most recent photograph of the condition of the tree. If you scroll up, there will be a picture if you just scroll up, you'll be able to, there's a picture with a red circle. There's some hat racking on the top, and as I stated, the city's arborist was the one that discovered this and said that this tree had been severely overpruned as well.
Thank you for your testimony. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Sir, can you tell me your name, please?
Yeah, David Gruber.
Mr. Gruber, do you have any objection to the photographs?
No.
That objection, photographs are admitted into evidence. So the city says you hat racked a tree, huh?
I've lived in the house for 26 years. That tree was there when I moved in. Every few years, my wife would hire a company to come in and trim it, and it was hat racked when they did it, because they would come in and whack it off right at the crotch of the tree. By the next year, it was better than ever. This year, I just trimmed it what I thought was reasonable. I didn't know hat racking. From what I know about hat racking now, I really don't think it was hat racking. It's a black olive tree. It's non-native, and I didn't realize it until it's not near utility lines. There's gas lines run literally under the tree. So that tree has been pushed over and then pushed back during a hurricane. The last thing I wanted was it to blow over with the gas lines. I've got pictures where the Locates company has put the flags there and literally put a yellow line on the tree.
Yeah, I mean, if your answer is that the tree needs to be pruned, I guess I wouldn't argue with that. The question, but that's not really the question before me. The question is, was it pruned properly?
Well,
It doesn't look like it. It looks like, what it looks like is you did some tree topping, which is a form of hat racking, which is unhealthy for the tree. And it also makes it more likely to blow over. That's part of the reason that they have these rules. And there are professional arborists that can do a trimming of that tree. And if you don't really like the tree, you could get a permit to see if you can get it removed. But what you can't do is trim it like that.
well, but it's back. I mean, that's what it looked like. And frankly, it's got all thorns and stuff in it. So it's not easy to get up there and do it.
Look, I appreciate it. That's why there are professional tree trimming companies that know how to do this properly. But part of the problem is if we had an arborist here, what they would tell me, because I've been doing this a really long time, is that even though it looks like the tree grows back, it grows back weaker, it's more susceptible to being windblown, creates health problems for the tree, which makes it more dangerous in the case of storms. It's one of the reasons they have these rules.
Well, isn't hat racking when they cut it like very low by the big fat branches?
It can be cutting, it's a general term to describe improper pruning, but what looks like happened here is you did tree topping, which is a form of hat racking, which is wrong. But what is the city asking for here?
A one-time fine of $250.
Mr. Gruber, I'm going to give you a little bit of a break here, but next time, have a professional do it properly, all right? In case CE 260-45197, I'm going to issue a one-time fine of $150.
All right, thank you.
Number 5, 814 Alvarado, CE 260-55429. Number 5, 814 Alvarado.
Good morning. My name is Michael Costello-Grisales, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. While on routine patrol, I observed multiple violations on the property. I initiated my investigation on May 27th, 2026. As of June 30th, the only remaining violations are 18-106-L, landscape, which was dead grass in the front yard, and 94-482-8, unpaved parking and required landscaping, where there was an RV parked, and once it was moved, there was dead grass. This was all at 814 El Vedado. This property is occupied. The city issued an NOV to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information and notice of this hearing date. I posted the NOV at the property on May 28th, 2026. I completed an affidavit of posting on May 28th, 2026, and it is in the case file. I took photos at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. Those photos accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is present. I've been in contact with the owner throughout the investigation while discussing the case with the owner. All violations explained, including how to comply with each violation and this special magistrate hearing. The city is requesting for 120 days to comply or $50 a day. I believe 120 days is enough time to comply with the remaining violations.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Jessica Jennison.
And you're the owner of the property, ma'am? Do you have any objections to the photographs or documents the city would like to put in evidence?
No.
All right, without objection, so admitted. So I guess the city is saying you parked an RV there and you're missing grass. Is that essentially it? Is that what's left? Yeah, okay. Good. Floor is yours.
I'm going to permit and get that fixed.
All right, the
It's
city
just
wants to
taking a
give you
little longer.
120 days. Essentially, it looks like you already moved the RV, right?
The RV
Yeah.
has been moved.
So
It's just the,
It's just replacing the grass?
Yeah.
yes.
All right. Is 120 days enough time for you to do that? Seems like plenty of time.
Yes, I think it's plenty of time.
All right, case CE 260-55429, I make the following findings of fact online. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of listed code sections. The RV parked on the landscaping and the landscape requirement. Respondent has 120 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $50 per day may issue. Please keep in touch with the code officer. Let them know when they're in.
Okay.
that's all we have for contested matters at this time. Oh. Okay, what,
Which one?
you can just tell us. What? You could just tell me, it's up to you.
What number is that?
1380.
39. All right. Last, yeah, not last.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Code Officer Weaver with the, I'm sorry.
Number
before we
30.
You got a
begin,
letter
she
call
has-
the case.
Number 39, 1383 8th Street, CE 26055-338.
And she needs to be sworn in as well.
Ma'am, can you raise your right hand, please?
Yes, sir.
You swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Florida.
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
Good morning. Code Officer Kay Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While traveling in my zone, I observed multiple violations at 1383 8th Street. I took photos of the violations, which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on May the 8th of 2026, citing multiple violations. The remaining violations are 94-487-A-8, prohibited vehicle, food truck/trailer, 94-482-A, unpaved parking, 18-106-I, landscape maintenance, which once the food truck is removed and gravel rock removed, needs to be replaced. Sod needs to be replaced there. The notice of violation was posted at the property in City Hall on May the 13th of 2026. The affidavit of posting was completed on May the 13th of 2026, and a copy placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent on June 5th, 2026, to the mailing address listed on property appraisers. Certified mail was signed for. I revisited the property on June the 30th of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of all the violations previously listed. The reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I have had contact with Ms. Finley, the property owner, who is working to comply the violations. The city is requesting an additional 60 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
My name is Rebecca Finley.
Ma'am, do you have any objection to the photographs or documents the city wants to put in evidence that they've been showing up there?
No, but I have my own photos of the violations
All right, hold on one
that
second.
I corrected.
I'm going to admit those into evidence, the city's composite exhibit. Is the, officer, it's parked on the grass, that's why you're, okay.
Yes.
All right. So
Partially
we're
on
talking
it.
about the commercial vehicle
Yes.
under 9447, and then 9442 and 18106 happen because it's parked on the grass, so
Yes, and then the rock.
bad
that's
parking,
used.
and then it's going to need grass, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, I got it. All right,
Okay.
go ahead.
As far as the parking is like maybe an inch on the grass because I was parked. As far as the food truck goes, I don't have an excuse. I have, I'm going through something and that's actually my business. I lost my 7-year-old foster child. This is a high profile case. The state is asking for the death penalty of the one that did it to her, which is the mother. I've been
sorry
going
to
through
hear that, ma'am.
depression. And due to this, sir, I cannot work. My business went down. I'm going through a lot mentally. I just asked for a little more time. It costs money for my truck to be moved, approximately about $5,000. I have saved up $3,000. I took up the trees that's in the swell. I took up the tree stump that she asked for. I put my garbage in the bag. As far as that swell on the other side, that's the city's. That was
And
the truck.
the only thing they're talking about is the vehicle and the parking on the grass. That's what
Yes,
they're talking
okay, because I thought I heard it. was- I'm
Everything
sorry.
else is
Yeah,
done.
I tried. I'm a first-time homeowner, and just due to this, I'm really, really going through it. It was 4 children. It's now 3. The family won't let me see the children as if I did something wrong. And mentally, it's a lot to get up and deal with every day. I'm trying to get my business backing up and running. It's not easy, and the only thing I'm asking for is a little more time.
How much time do you need?
I need, just give me a second. I'm sorry.
Need a minute, ma'am?
I'm sorry. Every time I talk about my baby, it hurts me, but I'm sorry.
Do you have any tissues we can give her?
I don't have a lot of money, and my uncle told me he'll help me, but he works and it takes a little time. So I'm thinking like for maybe 90 days to 120 days, I can have it fixed. I know I can't, but it's hard financially with me right now because mentally you don't know if you want to eat, do your hair. So you just don't know what the next minute is going to bring. She was only 7 years old, and it's hard. And that's the only reason why my food truck is there. And I didn't have no one to park it. The guy who parked it, he didn't park it all the way correctly. So it's a little bit on the grass. So I take care of my home. My lawn is very beautiful. I don't live like that. And I'm just asking you just to bear with me a little bit on time to get it right. That's all.
I know. What's the city's position on 90 or 120 days?
The city's position is, I have no issue with the city extending it to 90 days, but I just want her to because we have spoken before, this is the first time I've heard this, but we have spoken before, but the fact that within the 90 days, as previously discussed, it has to be removed. It can't be on the property, period. So that's what's gonna have to happen. So just make sure you're, putting something in place so that it can be removed so fines don't start running. And then sod the areas where the grass has been messed up and the rock gravel that you have there on the side that you're not, that's not being an extension of the driveway for people to park.
The last code enforcement officer approved that. With the rocks and the gravel. She told me that was fine. I spent a lot of money on my house. I did not just throw anything. My house is not an eyesore. My food truck isn't even an eyesore. It's backed up. I know it's against the law. But
Ms. Finley, I don't want to, you can meet with the code officer afterward and you can talk about different ways to comply. I'm going to give you the 90 days, so I'll give you an extra 30 days beyond the 60 days the city initially requested. That's really more than enough time to essentially move a food truck. And if it was only parking on a portion of the grass, that shouldn't be very much to replace that grass either. Part of the problem is if I can just sort of explain, the city codes, I don't get to decide, what the rules are in the city of West Palm Beach. I have a very limited role, which is whatever the city council decides the rules are, I have to enforce those rules. And they don't want commercial vehicles in residential areas. And so there's nothing that I can do that could allow you to keep that truck there because that's the rules that the city sets, And in fairness, most cities have very similar rules. So I can give you a bit of time, and I'll give you the 90 days to figure out where to put that truck and to fix the grass that may or may not have been damaged underneath it. But at some point, you got to move the truck.
yes, I know. I just asked for that.
All right.
90
In
days.
CE 26055-338, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice sufficient, I found the property in violation of listed code sections. I give the respondent 90 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Okay.
Good luck, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Okay, that's all we have for contested matters. Number 1, 820 North Sapodilla Avenue, 2, CE 26045-248.
Good morning. My name is Neil Maharaj, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Case number is CE 2604-5248. Property in question is 820 North Sapodilla Avenue, Unit Number 2. Issued on April 29th, 2026 to the owner of WPB-AC LLC. I conducted a reinspection as of yesterday, June 30th, and as a result, the following violations remain not in compliance. 22-441 for the rental license and 22-32 for the certificate of use. All other violations that you see there for interior violations have complied. Certified mail was successfully delivered on June 15th, 2026, and the NOV was posted on April 30th, 2026, with the affidavit of posting notarized and submitted into case files. The rental license and certificate of use have been applied for and paid, but they do require some inspections before they are finally issued. The city is requesting 60 days to comply or a $100 fine per day.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So just the rental license and certificate of use, and we're just waiting on an inspection?
Correct. I've been in contact with the property management, and they're aware.
No, okay. I mean, I think your ask is reasonable, very reasonable, actually. In case CE 260452448, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I found the property in violation of 22441 and 2232, rental license and certificate of use. Respondent has 60 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 2 is complied, 635 Palmetto Street, CE 260555397. Number 3, 242 North Ware Drive, PD 26060469. Oh, okay, that's at noon?
Yeah, that's a police case. That should have been on there. It's a police case.
Okay.
See, I spoke too soon.
Number 6, 423 14th Street, CE 26065536.
Good morning, Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Violations associated with 423 14th Street were referred to the Code Enforcement Division by West Palm Beach Police Department for alley maintenance, in particular trash, debris, and overgrowth. I completed an initial inspection on June 8th of 2026 and cited the property for multiple violations. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. I posted a notice of violation at the property in City Hall on June 16th. I also completed an affidavit of posting on June 16th of 2026. The notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on June 22nd of 2026 by the city's clerk. I completed a re-inspection on June 30th of 2026 and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code section. 744C3, there's still overgrowth in the alley. I took the photos at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violations I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, but I made contact with the property owner via phone and email. All violations, how to comply, and the special magistrate hearing were discussed with the property owner. The photos and the notice of violation was also sent to the property owner via email, and the property owner is requesting a little additional time to comply. The city is requesting an additional 14 days to comply. If compliance is not achieved, a $50 per day fine.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. How much time did they ask for?
They say they can get it done this Friday or Saturday, but I told them the city will request 2 weeks to get it done.
Sold. Case CE 260655536, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice sufficient. I find the property in violation 744C3. Overgrowth. Respondent has 14 days to come to compliance, or a fine of $50 per day may issue.
Number 7, 431 14th Street, CE 260655535.
All right, good morning, Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Violations associated with 431 14th Street were referred to the Code Enforcement Division by West Palm Beach Police Department for alley maintenance. Please note that this property is also the owner of the previous case that was just heard. I completed an initial inspection on June 8th of 2026 and cited the property for a few violations. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, my contact information, and notice of this hearing date. I posted a notice of violation at the property in City Hall on June 16th of 2026. I also completed an affidavit of compliance on that date, June 16th of 2026. And the notice of violation was noticed by certified and regular mail on June 22nd of 2026. I completed a re-inspection on June 30th of 2026 and observed the property not to be in compliance with the following code violation, 744C3 Alley Overgrowth. I took the photos at the initial investigation and when I revisited the property, and these photographs accurately and truthfully depict the violation I observed during my investigation. The property owner is not present, but I did make contact with the property owner via email and phone. The property owner is requesting additional time to comply. The city is requesting 14 days to comply. If compliance is not achieved, $50 per day fine.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. In case CE 260655535, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice sufficient. Find the property in violation of 744C3. Respondent has 14 days to come to compliance or a fine of up to $50 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 8, 540 Clematis Street, CE 2604528.
Good morning, Don Williams, Code Enforcement, City of West Palm. The business is located at 540 Clematis Street. Hemp Social was cited on April 17th to 26th. Code section cited with 94-402-E-1. They need a permit for the signs and graphics in the windows and doors. Certified regular mail sent out May 22nd of 26. Property posted 4/17 of 26. Contact has been made with the owner of the business. He is in the process of applying for that permit. My recommendation today would be 60 days to comply or additional fine of $100 per day after that.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Can I get that photo back?
I'm sorry?
It's the stuff on the glass here, right? Is that what you're
yeah,
concerned?
it's the graphics and writing on the doors and glasses, yes. You need a permit for those.
And you believe 60 days is a reasonable amount of time for him to obtain that permit?
Yes.
All right, in case CE 2604528, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice sufficient from the property in violation of 94-402-E1. Sign permit is required for the signs on the glass. Respondent has 60 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 9, 540 Clematis Street, CE 2604521.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. Business located at 540 Clematis Street, Cloud 305, was cited on April 17th of 26 for code sections 82-144, business tax receipt, and 94-402E-1, permit for signs. Certified regular mail was mailed out May 29th of 26. Property posted 4/17 of 26. Contact has been made with the owner. He is in the process of applying for that permit. So my recommendation today will be 60 days or a fine of $100 per day.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. He hasn't paid his business tax?
No, the problem is he has the business in a different name than the LLC that he has posted on Sunbiz, so he has to change it, switch it over. So it's not valid until it meets, both of them meet the same criteria in terms of the name.
And you think 60 days is enough time to do?
It is just a matter of coming in and doing the application.
Okay, fantastic. Case CE 2604521, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 94-402-E1. A sign permit is required for the signs in the window, and 82144, the business needs a business tax receipt. Respond has 60 days to come into compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 10, 523 Clematis Street, CE 25124467.
Don Williams, Code Enforcement. Business is located at 523 Clematis Street. Clematis Pizza was cited on December 5th of 25 for code section 78-342-A, sidewalk cafe permit, and code section 94-402-E-1, a sign permit for the graphics and signs in the window. The sidewalk cafe permit 78-342A is complied. They actually removed the chairs and tables from the sidewalk. Certified mail and regular mail sent out 5/22 of 26. The property itself posted 4/17 of 26. Contact is made with the manager of the business, and she is in the process of going through with the permit for the graphics in the window. So my recommendation is 60 days or a fine of $100 per day thereafter.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So is the sidewalk issue not an issue anymore?
Not even an issue.
So they're not applying for that permit, they just removed it?
Yes, they just decided to take the
So
tables
we're just talking signs.
in the window, yes.
That's a lot of signs.
Yeah, it was a lot more than that. You show the one that lit it. You can see the previous one. Yeah, it's the older one with quite a few in there.
Okay, in CE 25124467, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of 94402B21 and 94402E1. They have signs that need permitting. Respondent has 60 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 11, 1435 North Australian Avenue, CE 26055-341.
Good morning. Kishana Watson Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. 1435 North Australian Ave was referred to me by the Development Services Department for delinquent business tax receipt. The property was cited for Section 22-441, rental license being outstanding of September 30th, 2025, and 22-32-A, certificate use being expired as of September 30th, 2025. I initiated my investigation on May 12, 2026. The city issued a notice of violation, which identified violations, include my contact information, and provide notice of today's hearing. The notice was mailed by both regular and certified mail on May 13, 2026 by the city clerk. The certified mail is returned as of June 29, 2026. In addition, the notice of violations was posted at the property and city owned on May 12, 2026, and I completed an affidavit of posting on that date, which is located in the case file. As of this morning, July 1st, 2026, property remains out of compliance with both sections. At this time, the city is respectfully requesting the owner be granted 15 days to comply. If compliance is not achieved, a one-time fine of $250 for Section 22-441 and a daily fine of $100 for 22-32-A.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. This location is being used as a business?
It's a rental property.
It's a rental property, okay.
Floor rent.
Do they have a rental license?
It's expired and they haven't renewed it.
Okay. And so you're asking for 15 days to comply. Is that enough time for them to do this?
Yes. They only need to make payment. If they go online and make payment now, it's done.
So they just have to come in and pay it? Is that essentially it?
That's correct.
Okay. And you're asking for $100 for each violation if they don't?
So it's a one-time for $250 for Section 22-441 and $100 for 22-32-A.
$100 per day until they come
Correct.
to compliance. Okay. All right, in case CE 26055-341, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of Section 2232, missing certificate of use. They have 15 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue. And violation of 22441, the rental license. Respondent has 15 days to come into compliance, or a one-time fine of $250.
Number 12, 1820 North Congress Avenue, 209 CE 26055-340.
Kishana Watson Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. 1820 North Congress Ave, Unit 209 was referred to me by the Development Services for delinquent rental license. The unit was cited for Section 22-441, rental license being expired as of September 30th, 2025, and 22-32-A, certificate of use expired as of September 30th, 2025. I initiated my investigation on May 12, 2026. The city issued a notice of violation, which identified violations, include my contact information, and provide notice of today's hearing. The notice was made by both regular and certified mail on May 13, 2026 by the city clerk. The certified mail was received and signed for on June 1st, 2026. In addition, the notice of violation was posted at the property and city hall on May 12, 2026, and I completed an affidavit of posting on that date, which is located in the case file. As of this morning, July 1st, 2026, property remains out of compliance with both sections. At this time, the city is respectfully requesting the owner be granted 15 days to comply. If compliance is not achieved, a one-time fine of $250 for Section 22-441 and a daily fine of $100 for Section 22-32-A.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. And so this too is a rental property?
Correct.
And how do we know it's a rental property?
So they did apply for rental license last year, they just have not renewed it.
Do we know it's still being rented?
Well, I have not met with the tenant and the owner has not responded.
Is it possible it's vacated and it's not being rented anymore?
I mean, the notice is not there anymore, so I'm not sure about that.
If they vacated it, they don't need a rental license. So we need some evidence that somebody's renting the property. Counsel?
Yeah, I would have to rely on the testimony of the code officer on this matter. Were you able to make contact with anyone?
No.
And
There's no property management for the unit, so.
Gotcha. So yeah, magistrate, the city would have to rest on the testimony of the code officer.
Yeah, I can't make a finding on this unless you could check the utilities records to see if it's in the name of a renter. But yeah, you'll have to bring this one back if you want to do it, because there needs to be some evidence it's being rented. All right, I'll table it for now, and if you can bring back something maybe next month that shows that they're, utility license or something that shows it's being rented, then we can pursue.
Number 13, 935 44th Street, CE 26045231.
Kishana Watson Foster, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. While on routine patrol, the property located at 935 44th Street was cited for several violations that were observed. The outstanding section include 32-102, inoperative vehicle having flat tires and expired tag. 18-106-L, landscape requirement, areas in the front yard missing grass. 74-4-C-3, grass and weed overgrowth. 26-35, repeat violations, which is for section 94-482-A and 34-102. That case was in for case number CE 23050316, dated May 23rd, 2023. Which we will be assessing a $100 fine for those violations until compliance is achieved. I initiated my investigation on May 28, 2026. The city issued a notice of violation which identified violation, include my contact information, and provide notice of today's hearing. The notice was made by both regular and certified mail. On June 9, 2026. The certified mail is still not picked up as of June 29 at the post office. In addition, I posted a notice of violation at the property and City Hall on April 28 and May 29, and I completed an affidavit of posting on both dates, which is located in the case file. On June 29th, I revisited the property and found that it remained out of compliance. Photographs were taken during my initial and follow-up visits. These photographs accurately and truthfully depict violations as I have observed them. I've been in contact with the property owner, and we agreed on a 45 days for compliance for the non-repeat sections, and if compliance is not achieved in that time frame, we'll be assessing a 150 fines per day for those fines, and for the repeat ones, we'll be assessing $100 per day.
Thank you, ma'am. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Which code sections are repeat violations?
So currently we have 34-102, inoperative vehicle. They also had 94-482, but they have removed that one, so it's no longer.
So just the 34102?
Correct.
And that's the junk vehicle?
Correct.
Whatever that vehicle is. I don't know what that is. All right, and you're seeking 45 days to come into compliance for all the violations?
For all the other one other than the repeats.
So 45 days for the grass and weeds?
Correct.
And the landscaping?
Correct.
And you were asking for $150 per day for those?
Correct.
All right, and for the repeat violation, what did you want to do for that?
$100 a day from April 28 until it's in gain compliance.
So you noticed it on when?
April 28.
April 28th. And you're seeking what, did you say $140?
$100.
$100 per day from there until it comes into compliance?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, case CE 260452331, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient, find the property in violation of the listed code sections. I make specific finding that Code Section 34102, the junk vehicle, constitutes a repeat violation under the code of the City of West Palm Beach. I hereby assess a fine in that case beginning April 28th and continuing until the property comes in compliance in the amount of $100 per day. As to the remaining code sections, I give the respondent 45 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $150 per day may issue.
Number 14, 4123 Parker Avenue, CE 26055-378.
Okay. Hello again. My name is Olivia, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. On May 11, 2026, I received a complaint from Captain Thomas Waselik, Assistant Fire Marshal for the City of West Palm Beach, requesting an investigation into licensing status of businesses located within a small shopping plaza located at 4119 Parker Avenue. Prior to conducting my inspection, I used the city's licensing system to verify the status of all the businesses at the plaza. During this review, I found that the business tax receipt for Insurance Designers expired in 2019. This is a violation of Code 82-144 for business tax receipts.
Did you say 2019?
Sorry? Oh, yes, 2019 it expired, which mandates that all businesses operating within the City of West Palm Beach maintain a current business license. I conducted my initial inspection the following day. On May 20th, 2026, I posted a notice of violation at the business and completed the affidavit of posting on the same day. The notice of violation was delivered via certified mail on June 5th, 2026, and included my contact information along with details regarding today's hearing. On June 29, 2026, I was contacted by an individual by the name of Thomas Ventura. He stated that he'd recently purchased a business and would begin the licensing process that evening. On the morning of June 30th, 2026, Mr. Ventura provided documentation confirming that the BTR application was in process, so he's initiated it. So the city recommends allowing 30 days for him to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by August 1st, 2026, the city recommends imposing a fine of $100 per day until compliance is achieved.
Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Case CE 26055-378, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of 82-144, and the business tax receipt is required. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 15, 10248 Heronwood Lane, CE 26065507.
It's 10248 Heronwood Lane. Number 15, yes. Gotcha. Okay. On June 9th, 2026, I received a complaint from Gail James, Covenant Enforcement Officer for Ibis Country Club, regarding, if it doesn't come up for whatever, well, I don't know, it's taking a while, but it's all there. So I'll just start. On June 9th, 2026, I received a complaint from Gail James, Covenant Enforcement Officer for Ibis Country Club, regarding the property located at 10248 Heronwood Lane. That same day, I conducted my initial inspection to verify the complaint. During my inspection, I observed overgrown and neglected landscaping around the property, as well as a fountain filled with green, foul-smelling water. I took photographs during the inspection which accurately and truthfully depict the observed violations. I posted the notice of violation at the residence on June 9th and completed an affidavit of posting that same day. The notice of violation was delivered via certified mail on June 23rd, 2026. The notice included my contact information and details regarding today's hearing. On June 25th, 2026, I was contacted by a representative of the property who stated that the property was in litigation and that possession had been determined on June 9th, 2025. The representative requested an additional 30 days to come into compliance, but that was from June 9th. So today, the city recommends granting an additional 14 days for the property to come into compliance. If compliance is not achieved by July 15th, 2026, the city recommends imposing a fine of $250 a day, as ample time has already been provided. The property is just an eyesore to the community, and there's also a pool that has stagnant water. It should be in the pictures there. So there's stagnant water in the fountain. There's just overgrowth around the property. So I recommend $250 because the pool and fountain breed mosquitoes and other pests, and the stagnant green water poses a risk to health and quality of life for the neighboring residents. The unsecured body of water on the property presents a safety hazard to the community.
Thank you, ma'am. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Have they actually started working on this at all, that you can tell?
I haven't been out to IBIS to re-inspect, but in the email that I got on the 25th, one of the representatives stated that if they could have, if they could have the 30 days from the 9th, that they would have come into compliance. So that would give them about 2 more weeks from today. It appears that the company that owns it isn't located in Florida. I don't think that they're in Florida. So if they just hired a landscaper or someone to come take care of the pool, I don't think that would take more than...
I imagine this must be going over really well in IBIS.
Yeah, well, actually, truth be told, I was told by the covenant officer, it appears that the owners are in federal prison at this time, which is how the...
All right, I don't even want to go there. We're not going to go there. But we will give them the 14 days to clean this up. All right. KCE 26065507. Make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I found the property in violation of the listed code section, specifically the stagnant water and the overgrowth. Respondent has till July 15th, 2026 to bring the property in compliance or fine up to $250 per day. May issue.
Thank you.
Number 17356 Winter Street, E CE 260555405.
Joseph LaPerna, Code Enforcement, City of West Palm Beach. On May 22nd, 2026, while on patrol, my attention was called to the property at 356 Winter Street. Numerous violations were observed and documented. Since the time of the notice of violation being posted at the property, I've had contact with the property owner, who stated he'd been traveling for work but is resigned to get the property into compliance immediately and maintain it. The notice of violation was posted on the property May 26, 2026. Certified regular mail were sent on June 12, 2026. Certified mail returned on June 23, 2026. Affidavit of posting was completed on May 26, 2026, and is in the case file. On June 29, 2026, I returned to the property for a final inspection before today's hearing and found the property not in compliance, photographing the unresolved violations. Following violations are still not in compliance as of June 29th. Section 78-6, address numbering standards, requiring the address numbers or characters be mounted on the actual structure in color contrast to the mounting surface. Section 18-106A, clean and sanitary, requesting property owner power or pressure wash all stained or weathered areas of pavement. 94-446-2-E, edging, requesting the property owner remove all landscape vegetation encroaching onto the pavement right-of-way of the sidewalk. And section 34-102, inoperative vehicle, requesting property owner remove from public view the inoperative vehicle that's been parked in the driveway. All photographs taken during the course of the investigation accurately and truthfully depict my observations. The city is requesting 30 days be granted for compliance to be achieved, or the property owner be subject to a fine of $100 per day thereafter until compliance is achieved. We feel that an additional 30 days is reasonable, given the nature of the unresolved violations, and is more than enough time to bring the property into full compliance.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So you talked to the owner. He said he was moving back in and he would fix all these things and has not fixed any of them.
I talked to him yesterday for the first time.
Oh, okay, yesterday.
He's been out of town or whatever, and said that he would have it done by this weekend. I told him I would give him the 30 days.
Well, that'd be, I guess based on his own testimony, 30 days is more than enough time. All right, CE 260-55405, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of illicit code sections. I adopt by reference to testimony of the code officers the nature of those violations and give the respondent 30 days to come to compliance, or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 18432 Hunter Street, CE 260-55311.
Joseph Laperna, Code Enforcement, City of West Palm Beach. May 17th, 2026, while on patrol, my attention was called to the property at 432 Hunter Street. Numerous violations were observed and documented. Since the time of the notice of violation being posted at the property, I've had contact with the property owner. Notice of violation was posted at the property and at West Palm Beach City Hall on May 7th, 2026. Certified regular mail sent on May 28th, 2026. Certified mail returned June 6th, 2026. Certified mail, or affidavit of posting was completed on May 7th, 2026, and is in the case file. So the property owner applied for the business tax, the rental business tax on May 17th, 2026. West Palm Beach Zoning Department finally approved it on June 22nd. So on June 29th, I returned to the property for a final inspection, thinking it was going to pass, but it did not. It failed the rental inspection. So the following violations are still present. 22-441 for the rental BTR, and 22-32 for the certificate of use. All the photographs that were taken during the course of the investigation accurately, truthfully depict my observations. The city requests that 60 days be granted for compliance to be achieved. If after 60 days compliance is not achieved, we request a one-time fine of $250 be assessed for the violation of 22-441 for the rental BTR, and a fine of $100 per day after those 60 days be assessed for the violation of 22-32 for the certificate of use. We feel the additional 60 days is reasonable, given the nature of the unresolved violations, and is more than enough time for the property owner to bring the property into full compliance.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Why did it fail the inspection?
Good question. There were 4 points that failed the inspection. One is that I noticed a warping and discoloration of the wood underneath the water heater in the closet. Noticed water on there. The reason I was going for the 60 days is in the event that he does have to replace it, he's going to need to get a permit.
That's what I was getting at.
Yep.
All right, KCE 260-55311. I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 22-32 and 22-441. As to 22-441, respondent has 60 days to come to compliance, or a one-time fine of $250. As to 22-32, respondent has 60 days to come to compliance, or $100 per day fine until it comes into compliance.
Number 19330 North Ware Drive, CE 260-55362.
Joseph Laperna, Code Enforcement, City of West Palm Beach. On May 14th, 2026, while on patrol, my attention was called to the property at 330 North Ware Drive. Numerous violations were observed and documented. Since the time of the notice of violation being posted on the property, I have been in contact with the property owner, who stated that she works out of state and travels a lot. She understands and agrees that her sister, who she allows to live with her, has let the property go. The notice of violation was posted on the property and at West Palm Beach City Hall on May 15th, 2026. Certified regular mail sent on June 1st, 2026. Certified mail returned June 13th, 2026. Affidavit of posting was completed on May 15th, 2026 and is in the case file. On June 29, 2026, I returned to the property for a final inspection before today's hearing and found the property not in compliance, photographing all the unresolved violations. Following violations are still not in compliance. 74-34-A-1-H, garbage receptacles not be stored in public view. Section 18106-A, clean and sanitary, requesting the property owner pressure or power wash all stained or weathered areas of pavement. Section 94-442-C-1, landscape areas must be grass, sod, or approved landscape material, requesting the property owner fill all bare landscape areas of the property in accordance with this section. Section 94-71-C, outdoor storage, requesting property owner remove from public view all stored items. They still had Halloween decorations on the property.
If they wait long enough, they'll be back.
Seriously. And finally, again, 18106A regarding the trash and excessive debris on the property, requesting the property owner remove all the trash and debris from the property. All photographs taken during this investigation accurately and truthfully depict my observations. City's requesting 30 days be granted for compliance to be achieved, or the property owner be subject to a fine of $100 per day thereafter until compliance is achieved. We feel an additional 30 days is reasonable given the nature of the unresolved violations and is more than enough time for the property owner to bring the property into compliance.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. You were seeking 30 days or $100 per day?
Yes.
Sorry, I got
She's got to go back
distracted
to
by
California,
the skeleton.
so yeah, just in time for the Halloween decorations to go back up. She's going back to California. She said she'd probably have it done this week, next week.
It doesn't seem like, it seems like things that can be done within 30 days.
Mm-hmm.
All right, in case CE 260-55362, I make the following findings of fact and law. Has that really been up there since October?
Yes, yes.
I'm sorry.
Did you put the picture up? Yeah.
All right, I'm sorry. I've been doing this a long time. Every now and then, something does surprise me. Every now and then. All right, CE 260-55362. I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of listed code sections, I adopt by reference to testimony of the code officers the nature of those violations. Give the respondent 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Number 2429 North Ware Drive, CE 260-55361.
Okay. Joseph LaPerna, Code Enforcement, West Palm Beach. On May 14th, 2026, while on patrol, my attention was called to the property at 429 North Ware Drive. Numerous violations were observed and documented. Since the time of notice of violation being posted on the property, I've had contact with the property owner and the property occupant. The notice of violation was posted on the property and at West Palm Beach City Hall May 15th, 2026. Certified and regular mail were sent on June 1st, 2026. Certified mail was returned June 8th, 2026. Affidavit of posting was completed on May 15th and is in the case file. During my investigation, I spoke with the occupant, who initially stated she rents from her son, then later recanted and stated her son owns the house and lets her stay there. A check of public utilities with City of West Palm Beach found the utility invoices in the name of Simone O'Fallon and not the property owner, Mr. Jimmy Baptiste. On June 29th, I returned to the property for a final inspection and found the property not in compliance. The occupant made contact with me while I was at the location and asked I speak to her son, the property owner, who verbally stated that the home is not a rental and he allows his mother to stay there. I mailed him a certificate of non-rental, which he did return to me, and it was notarized and is in the case file. The following violations still remain on the property: 74-34-A-1-H, garbage cans in public view; 94-442E, grass or sod required in the bare areas of the swale; 94-71-C, outdoor storage; 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, requesting the owner power or pressure wash all stained or weathered areas of pavement. Section 18-106A, again for the trash and debris scattered about the property. 18-106B, excessive growth. And 34-102 for junk or abandoned vehicles stored in public view, to which she states that she needs it to store her stuff. All photographs taken during the course of this investigation accurately and truthfully depict my observations. The city requests 60 days be granted for compliance to be achieved. If after 60 days compliance is not achieved, the city is requesting a fine of $150 per day thereafter be assessed until compliance is achieved. The city feels that 60 days is more than reasonable given the nature of the unresolved violations and enough time to bring the property into full compliance.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. I assume that that van is the inoperable
That is
vehicle?
the mobile storage unit.
Yeah, and it's inoperable because it's not, has no
It's got flat
registration?
tires, there's no registration on it, and you can tell by the pavement underneath that it hasn't been moved probably in years.
And the overgrowth is what?
It's all over the property. They just got to trim it up. It's the edging. It's all around the house too. They cut the grass, but then they don't trim around the house.
So they don't do any edging?
Correct.
And the trash and debris, that's just that stuff all around the house?
Correct. Oh, it's all over. And that's why I talked to the son. I think I'm trying to get through to the son that his mom is borderline hoarder, but he's in Tallahassee, I believe, and
Well, I don't make any diagnosis, but if you have a house and you need a van.
correct. Well, she asked me if she could get she asked me about getting a storage unit, but asking me if she can put the van in the backyard out of public view until such time she can figure out what to do with it. And I kind of told her that's not a good idea.
All right, well, I'll give her the 60 days. Hopefully her son can talk to her. KCE 2605531, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of listed code sections. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officers the nature of those violations. I give the respondent 60 days to come to compliance or a fine of $150 per day may issue.
Number 21, 504 36th Street, CE 2605536.
Morning, Your Honor. Tony Epicella, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. Case number CE 26055396 for the address located 504 36th Street. On May 21st, while patrolling my assigned zone, observed apparent overgrowth conditions at the property and initiated an inspection. I documented the violations with photographs taken by myself. During the inspection, I observed the following violations: 94-446-2-E edging, 74-4-C-4 trees, hedges obstructing the right-of-way, 74-A-3 cleaning of adjoining right-of-way in the alley, and 18106B overgrowth of property. A notice violation was posted on May 22nd, 2026. Certified notice was mailed on June 8th, 2026, and confirmed received on June 13, 2026. The compliance date indicated on the notice violation is June 19th, 2026. On June 18th, I conducted a reinspection and observed that none of the violations had been corrected. These findings were documented with photographs, again taken by me. On June 25th and June 29th, I again inspected the property for compliance and found that no corrective action had been taken. No photographs were taken during this visit because nothing had changed. To date, I have had no contact with the property owner or any representative. Based on the continued non-compliance, the city is requesting 10 days to comply or a fine of $150 per day thereafter until compliance is achieved. I believe this time frame is reasonable and adequate for the violations to be corrected.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Looks like a lot of overgrowth here, huh?
Not one blade of grass has been touched. However, the notice of violation that was posted has been removed.
Can we go back to the pictures? Okay, you got overgrowth.
Well, that would be that's the alleyway.
I guess that's outdoor storage. Did you? I don't think you cited that, did you? The tree certainly needs to be trimmed, huh?
Yeah, if you go through the pictures, go back. There's a picture, there it is.
You got a forest going on here, huh?
Pretty much.
Goodness.
I
You think 10 days is enough time?
Well, being that there's been no response, I feel like it's just been ignored.
As tempted as I am when I sit up here to use the time frame as a as a reference to the fact that they've done nothing to do anything here, I still have to, under the law, give them a reasonable amount of time to bring this into compliance, meaning that I can't order them to do the impossible. So I guess I need to understand, as I look at it, this looks like more than a 10-day job. But, you know, I'm not an expert here. I mean, what do you think?
11 days? I'll leave it at your honor's discretion.
I'm going to give them 3 weeks, 21 days.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Your Honor.
I'm going to give them 21 days, 3 weeks.
21 days, okay.
But I'm going to up the fine a little bit because this is terrible. All right, in case CE 2605539-6, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find the notice is sufficient. I find the property in violation of all of the listed code sections. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officers to the nature of those violations. I'm giving the respondent 21 days to bring the property in compliance, or a fine of $200 per day may issue.
Number 22, 706th Street, CE 260555328.
Morning, Your Honor. Tony Apicella, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. This is in reference to case number 26055326 for the address located at 706th Street. On May 5th, 2026, I was assigned this location in reference to a complaint that was received regarding vehicles parking on the parkway. I conducted a records check, revealed that there was no rental license on file for the property. On this initial visit, I made contact with the tenant. I have also been in contact with the owner via email and phone several times since May 14th, 2026. So the violations that are still remain are Section 22441 rental license and Section 22-32 certificate of use. On May 8th, I returned to the property to re-inspect for additional violation and took photographs and issued a notice of violation. Those violations have since been resolved. Service was provided by posting the property on May 11th, 2026. Certified notice was sent on May 28th, 2026, and certified notice was received on June 1st, 2026. The rental application was submitted on May 15th and has been going through the approval process. The license is current pending a code enforcement inspection. The owner has complied with the exterior related violations. June 25th, 2026, I spoke again with the owner and reviewed my observations from the same date. He stated that he would contact the tenant and address the outstanding issues. Basically, I explained to him just from the outside that its current state would not pass the rental inspection by code enforcement. So to date, the property remains out of compliance with the required rental license and certificate of use. The city is requesting a one-time fine of $250 for the violation of 22-441, the rental license, and a fine of $100 per day for Section 22-32, certificate of use. The compliance date on the notice of violation was June 12, 2026. The city is requesting 60 days based on that the owner believed in our conversation that that would be enough time that we would be able to schedule with the tenant and the rental license would complete its processing in order to get the required inspections completed.
Seems reasonable to me. CE 260-55328 to make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of 22-441 and 22-32. Respondent has 60 days to bring the company in compliance or a one-time fine of $250 for the violation of 22-441 and $100 a day for 22-32 until compliance is achieved.
Number 23707 4th Street, CE 260-55301.
Good morning, Tony Appicello, Code Enforcement with the City of West Palm Beach. In reference to case number 2605-5301 for the property located at 707 4th Street. On April 28th, I was assigned a complaint regarding the property located at the 707 4th Street. I conducted my initial inspection on May 5th, 2026. During the inspection, I observed several violations of the city's ordinances. While on site, I made contact with several individuals. I asked them if they were the owners of the property, and they responded with no, they were renters. I documented all observations through photographs, which are uploaded to the case file. As part of my investigation, I conducted a records check and confirmed that there was no active rental license for the property at the time. The property was cited for a total of 8 violations, one of which has since been resolved. On June 11th, 2026, a rental application was submitted by the owner's representative. This application is currently processing through the required approval steps and inspections for issuance. On June 25th, I conducted a follow-up inspection of the property. At that time, I determined the property remained in non-compliance. I have been in constant contact with the owner's representative, who has indicated they are working toward resolving the outstanding violations. There we go. What number is this? 23. The violations that are still outstanding are 22-441 rental license, 18-106B excessive overgrowth, section 22-32 certificate of use, 94-302-A-3 fence permits, 18106-A clean and sanitary trash, debris, and litter, 94-442-C1 landscape areas must be grass. Service was achieved by notice of violation was posted on May 8th, 2026 at the property. Certified mail was sent on June 1st, 2026. It was sent to both addresses concerning this property, 4100 Corporate Square in Naples, Florida, and 6601 Park Commerce Boulevard. Certified mail was received at the 4100 address on June 5th, 2026, and on June 9th, 2026 at the 6601 Park Commerce Boulevard. The city requests the following, and I have been in contact with the owner's representative, and he is in agreement. For violations 18106A, 18106B, 78-6, 94-442C1, and 94-302A3. The city is requesting 120 days to comply or $100 per day fine. For violation 22-441, again, the city is requesting 120 days and a one-time fine of $250. And for 22-32, 120 days or $100 a day fine. Based on the conditions observed and the steps required for compliance, I believe these requested time allotments are reasonable and adequate to achieve full compliance.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Case CE 260-55301 to make the following findings of fact and law. I notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of the listed code sections. Adopt by reference to testimony of the code officers of the nature of those violations. Give the respondent 120 days to come into compliance, or a fine of $100 per day for everything other than 22-441, which would be a one-time fine of $250.
Number 24, 438 26th Street, CE 260-55388.
Good morning, Tony Appicello, Code Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. This is in reference to case number 26055388, property located at 438 26th Street, West Palm Beach, Florida. I was assigned to investigate the above referenced property on May 27, 2026, following a complaint regarding a possible address numbering violation. During my investigation, I observed additional exterior violations on the property. Each violation was documented with photographs, all of which are included in the case file. The property was cited for 5 exterior violations, all of which have since been brought into compliance. As part of my investigation, I conducted a records check and found that the rental license did not match the registered property owner listed in the Palm Beach County Property Appraiser. Your Honor, the remaining violations are 22-441 rental license and Section 22-32 certificate of use. The notice of violation issued included the compliance date of June 19th. Now, I have been in constant contact with the respondent by email and phone since May 27, 2026. The respondent has provided regular updates and has made noticeable progress toward compliance. However, the respondent has encountered administrative hurdles related to matching the ownership information across the required filings, including business tax receipts and certificates of use. The respondent has been actively working to resolve these issues. On June 25th, I spoke to the respondent and informed her of the compliance extension I would be requesting today. She agreed that the proposed time frame would be sufficient. On June 30th, I contacted her again and confirmed the same time frame, and she again expressed agreement. Service was achieved by the property was posted on May 21st, 2026. Certified mail and first-class mail sent on June 15, 2026. And the certified mail was marked available for pickup on June 5th, 2026, but it was returned on June 30th, 2026. Based on the progress made to date, the respondent's cooperation throughout the process and the nature of the remaining violation, the city respectfully requests 60 days to correct the licensing issues. Basically what she did, Your Honor, is she owned the property in her name. She then transferred it to an LLC. So the rental license was no longer in the LLC. But the problem is that in her LLC with Sunbiz, she put a dash. And so she's now working with the state and Sunbiz to remove the dash so that it then matches the LLC documentation and so on and so forth down the line.
Sounds like she's going to need 60 days.
She was in agreement. She believes that that would be fine. So, Your Honor, the city is requesting the 60 days and a one-time fine of $250 for the violation of 22-441 and a recurring fine of $100 per day for violation of 22-32 certificate of use.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the City would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. In case CE 260-55388, I make the following findings of fact on life. Find notice is sufficient for the property in violation of listed code sections. I give the respondent 60 days to come into compliance, or a one-time fine of $250 for 22-441 and $100 a day for 22-32 until it comes into compliance after 60 days.
Thank you.
Number 25, 844 Ridgewood Drive, CE 260-55351.
Good morning, Officer Raphael Forrester, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 5/11/26 and posted on 5/15/26. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail 6/11/26. I have been in contact with the owner, and this property was cited for several violations, but one remains. 744C4. Trees and hedges obstructing the right-of-way. I observed areas along the sidewalk with trees and hedges obstructing the right-of-way. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of June 26th, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 45 days to achieve compliance. I believe 45 days is enough time to correct the violation. If they don't come into compliance, the city is asking for $50 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate of the City would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Okay, yeah, I see it. All right, case CE 260-55351, I make the following findings of fact on life. I notice is sufficient. I find the tree I find the property in violation of 74-4C4, which is the trees and hedges are clearly blocking the right-of-way. The respondent has 45 days to come into compliance or a fine of up to, what were you asking, 100?
50.
$50 per day, Measure.
Number 26, 619 Monsoy Road, CE 2603531.
Good morning. Officer Raphael Forster, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 3/25/26 and posted on 3/31/26. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail on 5/26/26. I have been in contact with the property owner. This property was cited for 94482A. I observed that the front yard does not have any landscape or living plant material. 18106A, clean and sanitary. I observed that the structure had faded paint throughout the structure. 9471C, outdoor storage, residential outdoor storage. I observed shopping cart and TV left in the driveway. 18105B, exterior wall. I observed rotted wood area in the fascia. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As June 26, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 180 days to achieve compliance. They're pursuing permits to do landscaping and renovations. I believe 180 days is enough time to correct the violations, obtain permits, and have inspections. If they don't come in compliance, the city is asking for $100 a day until the compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So you think it's going to require 180 days because there's going to be permitting required? Is that essentially it?
Yeah, they're going to go ahead and remove all those pavers and that extended concrete driveway and put landscaping down, which is going to require a lot of permits for and inspections.
Okay. KCE 2603531, I make the following findings of fact and life. I notice is sufficient to find the property in violation of listed code sections. I adopt by reference testimony of the code officers the nature of those violations. Respondent has 180 days to come into compliance or fine up to $100 per day may issue.
Number 27, 845 High Street, CE 260554342.
Good morning, Officer Raphael Forster, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 3/25 and posted on 3/31/26. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail on 5/26/26. I have been in contact with the owner. This property was cited for 9442C1. Landscaping areas must be grass. I observed that the yard does have bare areas that need grass for ground cover throughout the premises. 744C1, hurricane hazard. I observed a tree with dead palms attached. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of June 26, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting an additional 45 days to achieve compliance. I believe 45 days is enough time to correct the violation. If they do not come in compliance, the city is asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Where's the overgrowth?
It's not overgrowth, it needs grass. It's just bare areas throughout the whole property, even on the side.
So it's just the landscaping. It's 894. Well, which code sections are you still pursuing?
The 9442C1.
Just that one?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, that's pretty easy to see. All right, KCE 260554342, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation 944442C1. The landscaped areas need grass. Respondent has 45 days to come into compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 28, 149 Rutland Boulevard, CE 2604560.
Good morning, Officer Raphael Forster, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of West Palm Beach. This property was cited on 6/10/26 and posted on 6/11/26. Service was accomplished by certified mail and regular mail on 6/12/26. I have been in contact with the property owner. This property was cited for 9442C1. Landscaping areas must be grass. I observed that the landscape needs to be maintained while in wait of a demo permit. 18214A, painting boards. I observed that the boarding was not painted on the structure. 18-212C, vacant building sign required. I observed that the structure does not have any sign with information with property management info. 18-265, boarding certificate. I observed that there is not a boarding certificate for this structure. And 18-209, registration of vacant property. I observed that the property was not registered with the city as a vacant property. All photos accurately and truthfully depict the violation when observed. As of June 26, the property has not come into compliance. Therefore, the city is requesting additional 180 days to achieve compliance. I believe 180 days is enough time to correct the violation and obtain demo permit for the structure. For they do not come into compliance, the city is asking for $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Do you have any contact with whoever owns this property?
I have. So what happened is there was overgrowth throughout the whole property. It got cited. They responded by removing all the grass and all the overgrowth, excessive growth throughout the property. Then they applied for a permit for the actual building, which was already cited for not being boarded up and registered with the city, being vacant. So I know they applied for the permit. They're waiting for it to be done with the reviewing so that they can go ahead and just demo the structure.
Okay, 180 days seems reasonable to me. CE 260-45160, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice sufficient to find the property in violation of the listed code sections. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officers the nature of those violations. Respondent has 180 days to come to compliance or a fine of up to $100 per day may issue.
Well, thank you.
Number 29, 629 34th Street, CE 260-55315.
Good morning. My name is Alessio Carulli, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. The property located at 629 34th Street was observed to have the following violations that are still in non-compliance. And bear with me, there's quite a list here at this property. 18-106A, which is clean and sanitary, observed the home needing to there's trash and all types of debris on the property. 18-106B, which is overgrowth. Observed the front property needing to be mowed or cut. 94-446-2-E, which is edging. Observed the front and rear yard needing to be edged. Also 94-302A-4, which is the fence and wall. I observed the fence needing to be repaired or replaced throughout the property there. 18-214B, which is a boarding required. Observed the windows in the house are all broken out, there's glass all over the place at this location. 18-103-J, which is paint. We observed that the structure is in need of painting. There's 74-34A-1-H, which is the trash cans that are in public view. Observed that the trash can and recyclables are in the front of the property within the public view. 94-442-E, landscaping of squares and parkways. Observed that the area needed to be sod. 18-105-E, which are windows and doors. All windows and doors must be maintained. And then there's 94-71C, outdoor storage. Observed objects to be placed throughout the front yard. There's canoes, there's all types of objects on the front of the property. And then 18-102-3, which is to repair or replace the screens, as we observed the screens hanging off of the windows as well. So the city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, contact information, and notice of today's hearing. The notice of violation and hearing was sent certified and regular mail. The notice of violation was issued at the property on 5/11/26. The notice of violation was posted at the property on 5/13/26, and an affidavit of posting dated 5/13 is in the case files. Photos were taken at the initial investigation and when the property was revisited. Therefore, these photos accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed during the investigation. I have had no contact with the owner, although I have made contact with the police department and the homeless outreach, since the property seems to have homeless living inside there. Therefore, the city is requesting 60 days or $100 fine per day until complied. The city believes 60 days is more than enough time for the owner to achieve compliance.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. You got to exercise your knowledge of the entire code book here, huh?
It's a really bad property. Came in as a complaint to the neighbors on the street. All stop me every time I'm driving down to report this property.
You said you talked to the property owner?
No.
No, you haven't talked to the property. Looks, I mean, in your estimation, is this an abandoned property essentially?
Yeah, and right now you can see that there's, they put blankets or sheets hanging up in the windows. The homeless go in and out.
All right. You're seeking 60 days or $100 per day?
Yes, sir.
All right, KCE 260555315, I make the following findings of fact on life. I notice sufficient to find the property in violation of the listed code sections. I adopt by reference the testimony of the code officer. It's the nature of those violations. I give the respondent 60 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day.
Number 30, 627 39th Street, CE 2601584.
Good morning. My name is Alessio Carulli, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. Property at 627 39th Street is observed to have the following violations that are still in non-compliance. 18-106-B, which is overgrowth. Observed that the lawn is needing to be mowed or cut. And 94-446-2-E, which is edging. Observed that the lawn is needing to be edged throughout the property. So the city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, contact information, and notice of today's hearing. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent via certified and regular mail. The notice of violation was issued at the property on 5/14/26, and notice of violation was posted on the property 5/29/26, and an affidavit of posting dated 5/29/26 is in the case files. Photos were taken at the initial investigation, and when the property was revisited, these photos accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed during the investigation. This one, I also had no contact with the owner, therefore that the city is requesting 30 days or a fine of $100 per day until complied, and then the city believes that 30 days is more than enough time to achieve compliance.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
And then the reason you see there's obviously other violations on there, they're already running fines on those violations.
I was going to ask you that. All right, without objection, I'll accept those in evidence. So in this particular case, you're just pursuing the edging and the overgrowth?
The edging and the overgrowth, correct.
Okay. In case CE 260145584, I make the following findings of fact and life. I notice sufficient to find the property in violation 944462E and 18106B, 18106K for overgrowth and edging. Respondent has 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day, Commissioner.
Number 31, 618 28th Street, CE 260552997.
Good morning. My name is Alessio Carulli, Code Enforcement Officer of the City of West Palm Beach. Property at 618 28th Street was observed to have the following violations that are still in non-compliance. 94-482-A, which is unpaved parking. They have observed vehicles that will be parking on the grass instead of in the designated driveway. 18-103-J, which is paint. I observed the home in need of painting. And then 18-106-L, which is the landscape. Observed that the area is needing to have grass. Currently under the vehicle, grass is needed as well. City issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, contact information, and notice of today's hearing. The notice of violation, notice of hearing was sent via certified and regular mail. Notice of violation was issued at the property on 5/12/26. Notice of violation was posted at the property on 5/13/26. An affidavit of posting dated 5/13/26 is in the case files. Photos were taken at the initial investigation and when the property was revisited. These photos accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed during the investigation. This one, again, I have had no contact with the owner. Therefore, the city is requesting 30 days or a $100 fine per day until complied. And then the city believes that 30 days is more than enough time to achieve compliance.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So we're seeking the parking, the paint, and the landscaping.
Correct.
All right, case CE 260-55297, I make the following findings of fact on live. Find notice sufficient to find the property in violation of listed code sections. I adopt by reference testimony of the code officer. So the nature of those violations, I order the respondent to come into compliance within 30 days or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 32, 631 37th Street, CE 260-35084.
Good morning. My name is Alessio Carulli, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. The property located at 631 37th Street was observed to have the following violations that are still non-compliant. 18-106A, trash and debris. I observed trash and debris on the property. 18-103-J, which is paint. Observed that the home is in need of painting. 18-106-B, overgrowth. Observed the property needing to be cut or mowed. 74-4-C-4, which is vegetation/trees. We observed the trees that are needing to be trimmed according to code. 94-302-A-4, fence and wall. Observed that the fence is in need of repair and or replacing. And 94-446-2-E, edging. Observed that the property is in need of edging. The city issued a notice of violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, contact information, and notice of today's hearing. The notice of violation and notice of hearing was sent via certified and regular mail. Notice of violation was issued at the property on 5/14/26. The notice of violation was also posted at the property on 5/14/26, and an affidavit of posting dated 5/14/26 is in the case files. Photos were taken at the initial investigation and when the property was revisited. These photos accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed during the investigation. I have had no contact with the owner. Therefore, the city is requesting 30 days or a $100 fine per day to comply. The city believes that 30 days is more than enough time to have this in compliance.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. In case CE 260-35084, I make the following findings of fact on live. Find notice sufficient to find the property in violation of listed code sections. I adopt by reference testimony of the code officers the nature of those violations. I give the respondent 30 days to come into compliance or a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 33, 623 37th Street, CE 260-35080.
Good morning. My name is Alessio Carulli, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of West Palm Beach. Property located at 623 37th Street was observed to have the following violations that are still in non-compliance. 18-103-J, which is paint. Observed that the home is in need of paint. There's 94-442-C-1. Observed that the home is in need of grass or sod. 94-302-A-4, which is the fence or wall. Observed that the fence is in need of repair or replacing. And 94-71, which is outdoor storage. Observed that the outdoor storage is on the property. The city did issue a notice violation to the property owner, which identified the violations, contact information, and notice of today's hearing. The notice of violation and the notice of hearing sent via certified and regular mail. The notice of violation was issued on the property on 6/1/26. Notice of violation was posted at the property on 6/2/26, and an affidavit of posting dated 6/2/26 is in the case files. Photos were taken at the initial investigation and when the property was revisited. These photos accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed during the investigation. This one, I've had no contact with the owner as well. Therefore, the city is requesting 30 days or $100 fine per day until complied.
Thank you, sir. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony as evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. And you believe 30 days is enough time to bring this into compliance?
Yes, sir.
All right, case CE 2603580, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient to find property in violation of listed code sections. I adopt by reference to testimony of the code officers the nature of those violations. Give the respondent 30 days to come into compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
Number 34, 1451 Crossway, CE 2605535.
So did you draw the short straw to get the last
Seems like
placement
I'm
on the agenda?
Yeah, it seems like that's my regular position, but it's going to be short and sweet. Good morning, Code Officer Kay Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While investigating a complaint, I discovered violations at 1451 Crossway. I uploaded photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on May the 11th of 2026, citing multiple violations. The remaining violations are Section 26-33, which is repeat violation, under the previous case number of CE 220-50379. And the violations under that one, it was 18-106A and 18-106G. I additionally cited for 94-442-C-1, landscape areas must be grass, sod, or seed to bear areas. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on May the 28th of 2026. The affidavit of posting was completed on May the 28th of 2026 and a copy placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent on June the 17th of 2026 to the mailing address listed on the property appraisers. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on June the 30th of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of the 94-442-C1. The repeat only with having to come to hearing, but the 18106A and 18106G was complied as of yesterday, as of the 30th. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I have had multiple conversations with the owner, Bertram Hall. He has complied with most of the violations and has been informed of the repeat violation from the previous case and that fines will be enforced. Mr. Hall is requesting an additional 30 days for 94-442-C-1. The city is also requesting an additional 30 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved, as well as $100 a day for the repeat violation that was captured on May the 8th of 2026 and complied on June the 30th of 2026, totaling 53 days.
Thank you, ma'am. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. Tell me about this repeat violation. What was the code sections it was violated, and what was this?
It was 18106A and 18106G. So the pressure washing, as well as some painting areas like right there that need to be done. Unfortunately, he kind of waited to the midnight hour. So he ended up painting the driveway on the 29th, so when I went out on the 30th, and then the paint was also touched up on the front of the house on that date as well, making it coming into compliance as of yesterday.
So he was previously cited in violation of 18106A and 18106G?
Yes.
And then he was cited for a new violation under those sections?
Yes, by myself, yes.
All right, in case CE 260-55335, I make the following findings of fact and law. I find notice is sufficient. I found the property in violation, having been in violation of 18106A and 18106G, I make further findings said violation is a repeat violation under the Code of the City of West Palm Beach. I assess a fine amount of $100 a day for 53 days out of compliance. I find the respondent in violation of 94-442-C1, and I give the respondent 30 days to come to compliance for that for a fine of $100 per day may issue.
Number 35, 1462 9th Street, CE 26055-424.
Code Enforcement Officer Kay Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While investigating a complaint, I discovered violations at 1462 9th Street. I uploaded the photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on May the 27th of 2026, citing multiple violations. The remaining violations are 94-446-2-C, tree abuse. There are lights attached to the tree in the swell. Also 94-71-C, outdoor storage. There are items that are in front of the garage that needs to be removed. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on May the 28th of 2026. The affidavit of posting was completed on May the 28th of 2026 and a copy placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent on June the 17th of 2026 to the mailing address listed on property appraisers. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on June the 30th of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of the violations previously listed. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I have had contact with Mr. Joseph Gratton, the property owner, multiple times. Mr. Gratton has complied with most of the violation and has complied with most of the violation, but the two are still remaining. The city is requesting an additional 10 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. The outdoor storage, that part, tell me about this tree abuse thing.
Okay, so he took most of the stuff down. I don't know if she's passed it yet or not. I don't know where she is on the photos. You know what I'm saying? There's a tree in the swell, so if you just keep going, you'll see. He just started out as he had a whole, here it is. He originally had a whole seat and everything there. So he did take the seat and the steps going up to it. He took that down, but there are also some lights that are attached to the tree. So nothing can be stapled, nailed, screwed, or whatever in the tree. So it's kind of hard to see here. On the other side, you can see the lights that are still on the tree. So that's the only thing that's remaining on the tree. The other items he did take down.
All right, so compliance here is removing the attachments to the tree?
Yes, and then he had some items in front of the garage that just need to be removed.
I'm going to give it 14 days just because of the way the mailing works around here.
Okay.
In case CE 260-55424, I'm going to make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation 94462C, tree abuse, the attachments to the tree, and 9471C, the stuff that's sitting outside his house. Respondent has 14 days to come into compliance or fine up to $100 per day, may issue.
Number 36, 1015 North Australian Avenue, CE 260-55296.
Code Officer Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While traveling in my zone, I observed multiple violations at 1015 North Australian Avenue. I took photos of the violations, which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on April the 29th of 2026, citing multiple violations. The remaining violations are 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, removing all trash and debris from the property, and pressure washing. 94-71-C, outdoor storage. 94-446-2-E, edging around the entire property. 18-106-I, landscape maintenance, cutting, trimming, edging, removing pavers and sodding the bare areas. 78-94, the swells and parkway, cutting, trimming, edging, and sodding the bare areas. 94-482-A, unpaved parking, remove vehicle from the grass. 18-106-B, overgrowth, cutting, trimming, edging, and maintaining throughout the property. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on May the 8th of 2026. The affidavit of posting was completed on May the 8th of 2026 and a copy placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent on June the 13th of 2026 to the mailing address listed on property appraisers. Certified mail was signed for. I revisited the property on June the 26th of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of all the violations previously listed. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I have had contact with Mr. Owen, the property owner, who is working to comply the violations. Hold on one second. City is requesting an additional 60 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. So we're really talking about,
He still has to pressure wash, still has to edge, still has to remove the vehicle from the grass. He has a lot of loose pavers where they were put down without a permit and they are a trip hazard.
yeah,
And
it looks
he's-
like there's missing grass too, right?
Yes, missing grass, and then there's still some landscape issues about the property. He has done some things, he's just had a lot of things to do.
Sure looks like it. KCE 260552996, I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice is sufficient, I find the property in violation of the listed code sections. I adopt the testimony of the code officer. As to the nature of those violations, I give the respondent 60 days to come to compliance or fine of $100 per day issue.
Number 37908 South Mangonia Circle, CE 2605543.
Code Officer Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While traveling in my zone, I discovered a violation at 908 South Mangonia Circle. I uploaded photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on May the 13th of 2026, citing multiple violations. The remaining violations are 94-446-2-B-3, hat racking prohibited. 94-446-2-C, tree abuse. The notice of violation was posted at the property and City Hall on May the 28th of 2026. The affidavit of posting was completed on May the 28th of 2026 and a copy placed in the case file. I revisited the property on June the 30th of 2026 and observed the property still in violation of the violations previously listed. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I have had contact with Ms. Price, the property owner, on multiple occasions, and she's complied. She was cited for a couple of others. She's complied with that. The only thing remaining on the agenda is the hat racking and the tree abuse, which I informed her that a one-time fine would be requested for that. The tree does not have to be removed per our landscape planner, Megan Bouchard. The city is requesting a one-time fine of $250 for the hat racking and the tree abuse.
Thank you, ma'am. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
Without objection, so admitted. That is actually a pretty classic picture of hat racking.
Yes.
Sometimes people can debate it. That's a straight hat rack right there. All right, case CE 2605543. I make the following findings of fact and law. If I notice sufficient, I find the property in violation 944462B3 and 944462C for improper pruning of that tree. Respondent is assessed a one-time fine, the amount of $250.
Number 38701 Clear Lake Drive, CE 2605528.
Code Enforcement, Kay Weaver with the City of West Palm Beach. While investigating a complaint, I discovered violations at 701 Clear Lake Avenue. I uploaded photos of the violations which accurately and truthfully depict the violations observed. I initiated my investigation on May the 14th of 2026, citing multiple violations. The remaining violations are 18-106-G, repainting of the driveway, 18-106-A, clean and sanitary, pressure washing to either remove the paint or repainting. The notice of violation was posted at the property in City Hall on May the 28th of 2026. The affidavit of posting was completed on May the 28th of 2026, and a copy placed in the case file. Certified and regular mail was sent on June the 13th of 2026 to the mailing address listed on property appraisers. Certified mail was returned. I revisited the property on June the 30th and observed the property still in violation of the violations previously listed. Reinspection photos were taken showing the remaining violations. They were uploaded to the case file. I have had contact with Ms. Valeria Henriquez via email on multiple occasions in reference to this property. Ms. Henriquez has complied with most of the violations, but not all. The city is requesting an additional 30 days or $100 a day until compliance is achieved.
Thank you, ma'am. Special Magistrate, the city would like to enter the case file, including the photos and testimony into evidence.
That objection so admitted. Who is Miss Enriquez? The property owner looks like it's...
I'm assuming she's a property manager or someone, but she's the only one that has reached out and inquired about the property. And
He responded to the notices, essentially?
she responded, and she's also emailed me as far as what they had done, you know, the progress and that sort of thing.
Okay. And you believe 30 days is a reasonable amount of time to bring this into compliance?
More than enough, yes.
All right, case CE 260-55428, I make the following findings of fact on the life I notice is sufficient. Find the property in violation of listed code sections I adopt by reference testimony of the code officers. The nature of those violations respond as 30 days to come to compliance or fine of $100 per day may issue.
Thank you.
That completes the first part of the agenda.
What are we, 11:30 for other matters?
Well, we have lien reduction 11:30, right?
Oh, yeah, we have the.
I think one lien reduction at 11:30.
We got the one other matters at 11:30, and then we have the police case at 12, right? Okay, so we're going to take a break till 11:30. All right, I call us back into order. This is the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for the City of West Palm Beach. This is the Other Matters agenda. Normally, I would tell you cases will be called in the order in which they appear, but we have one case, so that'll be the one that we call. Anyone that's going to testify today or thinks they might testify, or there's a possibility that they might testify, would you please rise and raise your right hand so you can be sworn in? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Florida? Yes. All right, when you hear your case called, go ahead and proceed to the podium on my right-hand side. The city will introduce the case, and you'll have an opportunity to ask me for whatever it is that you want to ask me for. If you're asking me for a fine reduction, which typically is what happens here, be sure to tell me specifically what you're asking and give me the justification or reasons why I should grant that. All right, go ahead.
Number 4423 Lytle Street, CE 23030381.
You're on that side. Yeah, you're fine. It's not a bad thing. That's a good thing. All right, good morning. Donald Lattimore, City of West Palm Beach Code Enforcement Officer. Lien case CE 230381. This case was cited for unpermitted fence. The date that the case was ordered was May 3rd of 2023 with a comply by date of June 5th of 2023. Fines started to run on June 7th of 2023. At a $50 per day fine, the fine amount ran for 798 days with a compliance date of August 13th of 2025. The total fine amount was for $39,900. I have been in contact with the property owner in which the lien occurred with, and the property owner has agreed to a reduction for $6,000. Here on behalf of the property owner is an authorized representative for the property owner. And that $6,000 that we reached the agreement had a payment date within 60 days.
Ma'am, can you tell me your name, please?
Patricia Hardcastle.
Ms. Hardcastle, what's your relationship to the owner of the property?
I'm the title company that handled the sale of the property, and I'm his aunt.
And the property owner knows that you're here on their behalf?
Yes.
The city is representing to me that you've reached an agreement to reduce this fine from $39,900 to $6,000 payable within 60 days. Is that your understanding as well?
Yes, it is.
Okay. In case CE 23030381, I make a reduction of fine from $39,900 to $6,000 payable within 60 days. If it's not paid within that 60 days, it does return to the original amount. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Here's a copy of the order.
Thank you.
We're fast here. All right, I'm going to put us, we're going to take another brief recess until 12 p.m.
West Palm TV? Oh, there we are.
There we are. Okay. All right, I hereby call this meeting back to an order. This is Code Enforcement Special Magistrate for the City of West Palm Beach. This is part of our Other Matters agenda. If you are going to testify today, or you think you might testify, or there's a possibility that you might testify, I'd ask you to rise and raise your right hand so you can be sworn in. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be, is he testifying?
What does that mean necessarily?
Are you going to speak?
Oh, I'm going to speak, yes.
Yes,
Okay.
please stand up. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be truthful and accurate under penalty of perjury under the laws of the state of Florida? Please be seated. And call the case.
Number 3242 North Ware Drive, PD 26060469.
If the respondent is here, you can go ahead and proceed to the podium on my right-hand side.
Good afternoon, officer. Could you please state your name for the record?
Brian Matheson,
And what's your position with the city?
patrol officer,
And how long have you been an officer with the city of West Palm Beach?
2 years.
And are you here today for the violation that's being alleged, 78-152, a special event, a permit being required?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell us what you know about this case and why you're here?
Why I'm here is because upon arrival with officers, we observed a large crowd, what appeared to be juveniles. As I exited my car, I seen a large crowd. I smelled marijuana. I seen alcohol. And as we approached the people that was having the party, we told them, you know, it's not allowed. It seems to be a graduation party. Pretty sure underage people is there. They refused to give us their name. And as when I spoke to security, which I have evidence of, he basically confirmed that it was underage drinking and partying that was going on. So it was advertised because they hired a security guard as well, and he was unaware of the crowd that would be there. So basically his manager told him to just get out of there. So when we looked back, he was gone.
And was this, you said that the party was advertised, and how do you know that it was advertised? Was there a flyer for it?
Yes, just. Yes.
Is this the flyer?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And when you arrived on scene, was it evident that there was a lot of people congregated?
Yes, sir.
And based on your knowledge, training, and experience, do you believe that a special event would be required for this type of event?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you, sir. And do you believe, based on your experience that night, that the severity or the gravity of the event was severe? And if so, why?
Yes, sir. Why? Because of the large crowd, the alcohol's used, the drugs, maybe, I can't really say, but kids driving a vehicle. And as I listed in the report, we got another call on 300 Ware Drive, same crowd, big crowd having a party. As we came, they dispersed. Later on that night, end up resolving in a shooting, which I have damages, CADs that I had to go back out. Damages to vehicles. Vehicles were struck. A couple rounds, calibers was found, and some people's vehicle had bullet holes in it as well.
Okay, and I believe you referenced you have a report. Did you write the report?
Yes, I wrote the initial report.
Okay.
My follow officer, Ranquilo, wrote the shooting report.
Okay, and did you have a chance to review those reports before appearing here today?
Yes, sir.
And do you have body-worn camera from the night of the incident?
Yes, sir.
And did you have a chance to review the body-worn camera before?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and Special Magistrate, if you'll allow, we'd like to play the body-worn camera.
Proceed.
I believe he has to play it. Officer Matheson, is it true that you have to play it off of this, or is there a way for you to play it over our screens?
It will be off of this. I tried to move it to a hard drive, but due to it being on evidence.com, it would not let.
Okay, no problem. You just show it to the individuals.
Okay, yes, yes, ma'am.
While he's doing that, sir, can I have your name, please?
Yep, Sebastian Perez.
You say Sebastian Prince?
Sebastian Perez, P-E-R-E-Z.
And your relation to the owner of the property?
I am the property manager.
Mr. Perez, you want to come over here so you can watch it too?
Yep.
Right up there.
Can you turn it away so we can all see it? Can you step back so Mr. Perez can see it as well? Thanks. Is this a residential home? Is the person talking your partner? She wants to fight, doesn't she? this go on? How long did it take you to shut this thing down?
Anytime we got a call in where, it was because of them, either the noise or them just,
Did they just keep coming back to the house?
they kept standing around the house and when we leave, they came back to the house, to the big incident happened. You see these little girl carrying a teddy bear outside of the residence.
Were there any adults here?
That's the thing, so we're trying to find out who
Organize this thing?
yes, that was their security, but they gave him two first names.
All right, I think I got the gist of it, unless there's something specific you wanted me to see here.
Is there anything else egregious, Officer Matheson, that you want to show the administrator, or is that pretty much summed up? Okay.
All right.
They also charged for this party. I don't know if that was on the flyer.
Okay.
There was a fee that they charged people to attend this party. So it was like running a business also.
Understood. And is there anything else that you want to add?
I wasn't there, this officer was there, but like he said, it was in excess of 100 people at this party.
Officer, if you're going to come up,
sorry.
probably going to have to get your name on
Sorry,
the record.
Tamika West, T-A-M-E-C-A, West W-E-S-T. I forwarded to code enforcement, but these like rove, so it's not like older people like us. So the party's over, let's go home. So they go from the teenagers go from place to place, later on to a park, then later on there's a shooting. So this officer has to respond all night to these events with these young people. In the school year, I understand, but it's a quiet residential neighborhood.
So basically, this party, even though it was closed down, basically spilled out into the surrounding area and became a nuisance for the entire area.
Right, for the rest of the night, right. And then subsequently a shooting.
And do you believe the shooting did that emanate from this party in general, or this event in general, the
from same
congregation of people?
participants or attendees at this party.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you for your testimony. Officer Matheson, just a few more questions for you, if I may, Special Magistrate. Let's see. Okay, so because of this party, and do you believe that more resources, city resources, were expended than would normally be expended?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. And under our code, under 2635, subsection B, the city is allowed to request a fine of up to $15,000. And is that what you're asking for here today?
Yes, sir.
Okay, no further questions at this time. Magistrate, the city would like to move the case file and the testimony into evidence, barring any objection.
Mr. Perez, do you have any objections to the photographs, documents, and video that the city wants to put in evidence?
No objections in the sense that it definitely happened and was something that flew under, the radar. Just want to say from, I guess,
Hold
our
on
side.
one second, I promise. I'll let you tell me anything you want me to know. Just for the record, I'm going to accept into evidence the testimony, evidence, and photographs and videos into evidence. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
It's just kind of like an unfortunate thing that flew under the radar in the sense that I have
Maybe roll back for a second and tell me, so you manage this property, and this property is what, like a rental property or a short-term rental property?
Yep, it's an Airbnb, and I've been managing it 5 years and never had any sort of situation, and just something happened to come through where they put in a fraudulent ID online, and we specifically had them sign, and we vetted them, and we had them sign a back-end guest agreement, saying that our parties are strictly prohibited unless pre-authorized by us, et cetera, just a long list of different things, and they agreed to it, they signed for it, they put it looks like a fraudulent ID online, and even with us confirming with them, it seemed all good. And we also have other measures, but it, like I said, flew under the radar in the sense where we have a party monitor that if it surpasses 80 decibels for over 10 minutes, it alerts us, and it gets through any silenced notifications, et cetera, the whole team. And it just had died a couple days prior, but we've had that as our mechanism of preventing anything for 5 years, and everything has been pretty smooth sailing. We try to tailor to very higher end guests, I would say, and this happened to come through. It was through another platform, booking.com, which it's just a little bit harder for, I guess, the platform to be able to, I guess, check them, and there's more fraudulent bookings that come through. So effectively, as certain precautions that we have taken into place is we no longer cater to booking.com, and we are no longer even doing short-term rental. So I just signed a lease. We just signed a lease with a single individual that will carry out the remainder of just the term, and I could present that as well. But it really...
No, I believe you.
Yeah, it really spooked us as well, because this was...
this is pretty bad.
Pretty bad, yeah.
Now, Council, what's the city seeking here?
City's seeking a one-time fine of $15,000 due to the irreparable nature of the violation.
Mr. Perez, I'll give you the last word.
Well, I just want to say, I understand a lot of recourses and time and resources and everything went into this to prevent this. One, from that side, I'm tremendously sorry. But I will say I am no manager of thousands of homes either, and I just manage 10, 15 in the area. I put my personal touch to it, my time, effort into this, and I really don't think I could sustain a $15,000 bill on top of just the kind of humble property management, local family, run business. So if there's any, maybe a warning on file is too crazy to ask for, but some sort of lower fine would be very helpful.
Mr. President, I'm not unsympathetic, because I imagine that a $15,000 fine is a substantial burden on both your business and you. With that said, someone ends up paying for this, right? It's either going to be the city and the taxpayers, or it's going to be the homeowner, and the code and the law says it's your responsibility to make sure this doesn't happen. And the city shouldn't have to bear that cost. And while I appreciate the circumstances, and I also appreciate that you've been pretty upfront here and apologetic, and you're making efforts, the burden has to fall somewhere, and the code tells me it should fall on the homeowner. So in this particular case, I'm going to find that a special event permit was required. There wasn't one. The results of the party are substantial and cannot be undone. The cost to the city is legitimate and irreparable. I'm going to issue the full fine in $15,000. Thank you all for coming in.
That completes the agenda.
Seeing no further business before us, and there is no further business before us, we are adjourned.